Hey guys, 460 style here. I'm gonna do a little quick um, review on how I reload bullets, my 460 for an example, because that's one of my uh, dies and bullets I love to reload because I love 460 and it's fun to shoot. It's a hunting revolver, good for hunting, good for not so much plinking, but you can put 454 Casull and 45 Colt in there for plinking, but it's not really designed for that. It's designed for hunting and having some fun with. So anyway, so let's start. I got Elite four head turret um, with my dies. I use Hodgdon's 4110. That's usually medium to roll to the higher end powder. As far as um, the energy and speeds. Um, so so let's start off of how I do it. You got to be careful. Just pay attention. So what I usually do is just deburr, not deburr, but a deprime the casing. These aren't cleaned. This is just a review. Show you how it's done. Prime, and use your little wire brush here. Just put it in. Just turn it real quick in there. I do that. Look at it. No, it's kind of clear. And grab a piece of metal or a pair of pliers and just tap it. I have a pair of pliers here. Just anything. It's a tool. A tool is a tool is a tool. Just tap it. Get all the debris out. And put it in your press. Right there. What I usually do every I usually do every round. There's a little oil. I got some case lube. Many different types of lubes out there. I'm not saying to get Hornady, and I'm wearing a Hornady shirt and a Browning hat. I'm not here to sell products. About whatever product was on sale, Cabela's or something. That's another plug. So anyway, so I lube it up. A little oil. I just have some little cloth here. Just it doesn't take much. So you put it in your holder. Go up. Make sure everything's lined up. Go up. You put your primer in. Come down. And sometimes, see, this is a prime example why what just happened right now. Because I grabbed the case that I put aside, and the reason why it doesn't work. So that's why you got to pay attention. Because what happens is this primer pocket is too big now. I don't know why. Maybe I wire brushed it too much, because this is like my 6 or 7 times I've done this one already. And I believe you can get bigger primers. I haven't gone that far in investigating. So that's a prime example of what you just saw. So when I brought the primer up to put it in the pocket, it just went in there like butter. It's like there's no resistance. So that's a prime example. Prime example. Put that one aside. Let me see. Oh, that one. Okay. So I'll take this one because I took the primer out already. Again, just clean it real quick. These ones are not. This Hodgdon powder burns pretty good. There's no like the blowback back into the primer pocket. If you put too much powder, there's blowback in it sometimes, and it even burns the primer. Burns like a hole through the primer. That can happen. So let's try this again. Pretty clean. Throw it back. You got your primer already set from the previous primer. We'll go back down. We'll set it. What I usually do, I kind of seed it because you can kind of feel it, and it goes in just like that. Double check it. always double check if it's flush. See, it's beyond flush. You can kind of, I know it's kind of hard for this camera, but I'll show you what happens. If you don't seat it all the way, if you look here, oops, sorry about that, guys. If you look here, you probably can't see, there's one primer strike bigger than the other one. This one here wasn't seated all the way, and it moved on strike. This one has a deeper pocket. It's kind of hard to see, but this one has a lighter strike than this one. This one wasn't quite seated all the way, so it moved on impact. It still fired, but this one has a deeper pocket in it, a deeper strike. So that's another little telltale sign that your primer is not all the way to the base. So that one's free. I'm not going to charge you for that one. So that's one little idea. It's all about the details, kinda. You know, it's just one little. Once you get going on this, you'll get better and better and better. And then eventually you get the bigger machine. You put everything in it. I don't mind this one because there's less stuff to deal with, less moving parts. Like today's cars, a lot of moving parts and the yellow brake. The older vehicles work better, so it's kind of the same. Not work better, but everybody can fix it. Okay. In today's world, you can't fix all the cars. You got to bring it to the garage and put it on the computer. So that's basically the same idea, but the progressive ones are a lot faster, more efficient. But again, there's more. Depends. You know, if you shoot 30,000 rounds a week or something or whatever. So anyway, so see, I'm talking and I got distracted. So I got the primer in this one. See, so now it goes to the sizer. It opens the mouth of the case. Goes to the next one. Now I got the powder. This is the Lee disc style dispenser. Not a lot of people like it. I don't mind it. The H110 Hodgson H110 powder in here, excuse me, is a little more messy. It's a finer grit. It's not the barrel style. It's not the flat flake. It's more of a grainy, like salty kind of texture to it. But this is through a couple hundred rounds. I've been doing this, or 1,500 rounds or whatever, of 460 so far. I wrote down my information. Like this one needs 2 pumps on a certain size for a certain size of bullet of the projectile. Like I got my setting on 2 pumps. So if you see me crank it twice, that's the grains. And since these are ball rounds, put like 38 grains versus the 45, 46. A little bit less because these are not designed to go 2,000 feet a second. These are designed to go like maybe 13, 14, 15. So that much grain less will, you know, won't go as fast. And these are good for plinking for 75 yards, maybe 100, because I haven't tried these at 100 yards yet. Maybe there's a video, I'll do something with that later. But so with this one here, I go 2 pumps on my disc. And that setting wasn't quite right. The top half is too tight, so I just got to do like a quarter turn to loosen it, but for now it's fine. A projectile. Another part about seating the projectile, it's one of those things where it should be a number, like ball rounds or the XTP mags are shorter than the ball rounds. So what happens is, I before making this video, I had to readjust everything height-wise, because the previous setting for the XTP mags, the hollow points, my first setting, I'll show you what happens. It's all, you know, it's all in the details. It sat all the way in. Okay, so I'm like, what in the world's going on here? So then I did another setting, which is about halfway in, and then finally I set it like almost all the way up, and I slowly went down to where there's actually like a little roll crimp on that. There's a little shoulder right there. I know I got horrible lighting, but there's actually a shoulder on there, right on the edge here. You need that, but these ball rounds don't have a cannule in it. What I mean by cannule is there's a groove in the projectile where that's where you see it, and you can put a nice roll crimp on there. I think you see it right there, that little shoulder. You can put a nice roll crimp in that cannule. So now you can do these like a max power. XTP mags, you can still do a max power because they're designed to go 2,000 feet plus in this caliber, in this gun. Probably up to carbine or AR, like a 45 Raptor or Thompson Centers or whatever single action or break open, whatever gun you have to shoot these projectiles. This caliber, I mean, to whatever 3,000 feet a second. So these are designed for that. But that cannule is what saved these from a case jump, because upon recoil, the projectile wants to jump the case, meaning going forward. And now you got a jammed gun. Your cylinder on your revolver will not rotate on the next projectile bullet that you want to shoot in the next round. So that prevents the case jump. So these ball rounds, don't have a cannule. Look, I took this one out. It looks like a cannule, but that's actually my roll crimp in the projectile. And another reason why they don't kind of recommend these ones for hot, it's not a closed back end. It's a lead back end. So that's why you don't want to usually, because it's going to lead foul your barrel or cylinder. But if you go less powder, you can shoot 40, 50 rounds, whatever. I wouldn't shoot 500 rounds of these. So that's that. So the case is open, kinda, but I'll just guide it in. I gotta move over. I don't have much room here. So that's seated, and should be just a little click, and that should be. I'm gonna go again. Just a little click in it, and there should be enough little cannule here. And you see it in there. There's a little cannule in there. Not cannule, but roll crimp. And since these are there's a less charge in here, you should be all right. They shouldn't jump the case. And so that's a brief the way I do it. It's all about the details, but it's not really that hard once you get going. You focus. Once you start doing it, you start paying more attention, and things come automatic as part of the process of putting the bullet in your machine, lubing it up, make sure your primer is ready to go, stuff, and you can even weigh it, put it on a scale for each round, make sure you got powder, or do the old ear test, and you're done. Next round. Again, when you first start, you might say, what happened to that case? Well, what happened is, that's when you press too hard on your lever. When I first started, this is like one of my first bullets to actually do that, and I was like, why isn't it not coming out of the thing? And it did. It popped out. This is not a chain. This is designed for just a little bit of pressure, not to put your whole body on there. This is just brass, so it's rugged enough for the bullet, but not for pressure downward on the case. So it's all by feel and trial and error, and you'll get the feel for it. It's like anything else, like driving a car. You get the feel of it in the snow and the whole thing. It's kind of like that kind of thing. You'll get kind of used to that, and you learn how to do it. So one little example. Make sure when you buy factory loads, I'm not going to say what brand this one is. This is a 45 Colt. And I know there's a little, already a crease in it from factory. I'm sorry, guys. There's a crease in it from factory, okay? There's a groove in there. You can see that line. All right. So what happens is that has the same effect as that on that crease. So you don't want to put a roll crimp on that. 800 feet a second bullet, you don't need a roll crimp. There's not enough recoil for a roll crimp. So just a little taper crimp on here for like 45 Colt. 454, I'd probably would put a roll crimp because 1700 feet a second is still, it's cooking for that size. So, but yeah, so another thing that I do is a lot of people, I I went down to a bullet place where they sell bullets and stuff, and there were some 45 Colt that were kind of set in like that. It's gonna shoot. It's not pretty, but I come on, you're buying a projectile, make it look like make it look normal, make it look normal. So what I usually do when I buy these, buy a round, any rounds, the XTP mag, or already has a canoodle in it, so you already know where to do your settings. Like for a ball round, what I do, I grab my mic here, and I put the back end on. Now there should be a little round in there. You're gonna see a round. It's not quite square. You see how it rounds off on once it starts rounding off right there. So I put this on here, and I find a spot. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to do this right. I'm trying to find a spot where there's no space, there's no gap in between, and the gap stops right there. And I come down just a hair more, just move 1/16 of an inch, as long as you're on the flat. Because there is a flat spot on here. There is a flat spot, then it starts tapering. I go a little bit less than that. Some guys bring it up higher, so more it's case space. They go down to almost maybe to like 1/8 of an inch on the bottom of that, and I don't like that because I think if you put a little extra, not a roll crimp, but if you taper it a little too much pressure, it might jar it in there. So that shoulder has to be in there. Buy more different type of powder that's hotter, so you can just put it normal, and that's how you kind of go about that, fixing it. But buy a hotter powder if you want more kick or more energy or feet per second. So that's my little review. These are all discs, like I said earlier. These are the discs that go on there for different size calibers. There's different holes, different sizes for whatever bullets that you're reloading. Another little trick. It's not a trick, just common sense. What I do is, excuse me for a second. I buy other turrets. This is a 4-head turret. I just buy other turrets. That's not supposed to happen. Excuse me. I buy other turrets and they're ready to go. All your adjustments done. They're only $10. Why keep adjusting in your time? Take the die out, put another one. Take the die out. Don't do that. That's just my opinion. Don't listen to me. So, but I just buy another turret. They're $10-12. Once you're set, you're set. Now you throw it in. It's this quick. It's really quick. Let me take the powder out so it doesn't go everywhere. This is basically what a preview. Kind of just like another. Maybe I'll do another video to show you how everything goes together. A lot of people already know that. Let me put this aside. Oh, powder everywhere. And take my primer out. And so now if I want to go to 9mm, 45 Colt, 45-70, whatever caliber you got, 40, 45. Take the turret out. If I can. There we go. Comes right out. Put your other one in. Clean your square in the middle of it. Put it in. Line it up. That square, you're ready to go. And you change your powder and your size. Remember that. Don't put this back on because that's for 460. 454, 45 Colt. Make sure you change that. Now you got a 9mm that won't shoot the way it's supposed to be because it's a harder powder for pistol. It has to be a faster burn. So make sure you change that, different size disc and everything, because you'll make a mess on your first round. You're like, what the hell happened there? Oh, that's right, it's the wrong disc. So everything goes hand in hand. So yeah, so that's basically what I usually do for reloading. I know this is a long video, but there's a little more left to talk about as far as certain details that I look for while reloading. But if you just take your time, focus, and not do a video while you're doing this. Don't forget your O-ring, it kind of locks it in there. I had to get a second adapter so it clears my primer pod here, dispenser. They showed only one riser for these, but I got 2 risers. My 460, I don't need a second riser because the die is longer already. My 9mm and 45 Colt, I need a second riser because the bottom of your powder dispenser hits the top of your primer dispenser. So it's all little things. It's all the little things that it matters in time. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just a brief little video on how I do it for my 460. Maybe it's not the total real way of doing it. I got good results so far. But 100 framers, they build houses 100 different ways. So there's many different ways. Everybody has their little angles on certain things, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. More videos coming. And be safe, 460 style.